the filing so how did you word that when you were saying about the constitutional amendment that we would have to do what?
In order to fix the pension crisis, you would need a constitutional amendment.
And that is the pension crisis that's related to the 7,000 units of government that we have here in the state.
Yes, ma'am. Because it takes property taxes to pay the pensions.
So when the governor signed that bill, did that help us or
no,
hurt us?
It hurt us.
Oh, it hurt us.
It hurt us.
So what you said we needed to do, I was excited. I was like, well, finally, I thought that did we want it or did we not?
No, we don't want what they want. What they want is to stop. See, they wanted to stop the Republicans from suing them. You know, the governors were being sued because of COVID, shutting down businesses. That's why the governor was being sued. And so the governor, he just said, hey, man, I don't want y'all suing me no more, but I make it difficult where you can only go to Springfield or Chicago to file a lawsuit.
And can I clear up a little something right here? What he's telling you is exactly true. However, you still have the right to file. Your right to file a lawsuit was not diminished, nor was it hindered in any of the process. The process doesn't allow you just to go in willy-nilly and file it. You must go through the state or through Springfield, those locations, in order to file suit, which is what most people do anyway.
But getting back to our young people and crime, we have to begin to understand one thing. I'm a veteran. I went into the military on a voluntary portfolio. People who went in before me, and while I was stationed in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, I found out that a lot of the guys in the military at the time I was in had two choices: go to jail or go to the military. I don't think they have that kind of option today, because the military wants you to have some type of educational background. But what we also need to understand, the military gives you discipline, and it's a controlled environment. And I would say to any young person that we ought to create a system that they have in other countries where young people need to give back at least 2 years of community public service, and we give these young people a stipend. If we want to be sincere and care about our young people, I would say bring back the draft, and I have a 6-point plan where they are given an opportunity to go to trade school, a junior college, a 4-year college, Peace Corps, Job Corps, and the military could be their first option or their last option. But they would have all of those other options, and we give them a stipend as well.
Tax doctor, let's go around the room and see what other input we can get from the folks here at the table.
I would like to speak on some things. First of all, I've been traveling the world for 45 years, and they have a saying that you see things when you're on the outside and you look ahead, you see it more clearly. So when I come back to Chicago, coming back and forth from New York and Africa, I noticed being in the 60s and being in the 70s, the Black Panthers and how we fought. And just recently, the other day, I was walking downtown and there was a young millennial standing in front of City Hall with a sign talking about how the city has stole her grandmother's property, and she's standing down there by herself. And I asked her a question. I said, why are you down here by yourself? She said, because the baby boomers don't have the energy no more. They talk about the problems a lot, but they don't have the energy no more to fight like they did in the 60s. And I said, wow, that was really heavy. She said that to me, and she said that it's our turn as the millennials to fight for the elders. And I said, wow, you know, you inspire me a lot. So I'm going to give you guys a quick example of what I see from the outside looking in. Okay. Take the movie The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. And you see when all the evil was trying to get into the circle to destroy the kid. What we have is a lot of the elders basically are afraid because of all the past killings of our leaders and things like that. And because they have Social Security and all these things, like my sister was saying, I'm always vote Democrat because man, I didn't take my Social Security check. I said, oh my God, wow, this is what you're thinking? So you have like what's happening in Chicago as I see, let's take like 5 examples. You have a lot of the murders and the death squads killing our youth because of body parts, because America don't export anything. So therefore, when you look at the price of body parts with the melon, they take your melon and you die. You look at a person like you, for example, he's probably worth about maybe $100,000 dead. So therefore, yes, when you look at what they take from him, they take everything. They take the tendons, they take everything. Because somebody in Saudi Arabia will pay maybe $100,000 for his liver. So that's one thing. And then you have, when there's an epidemic, normally when there's an epidemic, when they was giving out the stimulus check, how can you attach taxes to that? Where are the elders fighting and in the streets? I predicted that. I said, now what's going to happen? These youth are going to go shopping downtown and they're going to start taking their part of the stimulus checks. Okay, that's another thing that's happening. Now we have, where are the baby boomers when the city council is basically saying, okay, $51 million will go towards what? The contractors, because in 1 month, what are they spending it on? They don't tell us. The baby boomers not asking, so therefore we have all the contractors. That's what I was saying down there to the police when I was standing in. I said, let me join you today as a baby boomer. And she was so happy that, and I was talking to the police, they couldn't touch me because I'm protected by the African religion which I belong to, which is connected directly to God. If you don't believe me, Google what happened to Simo Toko.
Simo Toko?
Yeah, Google what happened to Simo Toko. And then that'll tell you a lot about the spirituality which I'm connecting. And I'm not afraid to speak the truth because I know I'm protected. So what gotta happen is everybody knows in the world, revolution has been the only thing that has changed anything throughout the world. So what are we thinking about as baby boomers? And why are we not working with the children that has the courage? Why we're not doing it? Because what? Crack has destroyed us. Babies having babies, written what they give our children, giving the parents $350 to drug the kids up. Where's the protest? Where's all the mothers in the street going down to City Hall, blocking it to making change? Nobody is doing that. It's only 1 millennium. So my suggestion is that a lot of the baby boomers get with the millennials because they got the courage. Now they'll know, no, don't go downtown, whoever paying or whatever, direct them to a revolution, because a revolution can be in different forms. In the 60s, it was like we protest, but we don't, like she said, we don't have the energy. She said we should get with them, and I'm gonna give her number to you so we basically can call her because she has a cause. And there's a lot of things that's happening in Chicago where we should be protesting. We should not be just like always talking in a talk show. We should be all on the street, and then that will be the revolution part of it, like we used to do in the 60s, the Angela Davises and the Fred Hamptons. Where are they? Because why? Because people are afraid, because they will kill you.
Yes.
But they can't kill you if they know it's going to be consequences. They'll be afraid to kill you.
All right.
Minister Farrakhan, one last one. Minister Farrakhan said that don't be afraid to tell the truth. Regardless of what people say about him, he made a very interesting point. He said, don't be afraid to tell the truth, because you better die for something instead of like just talking all the time and dying for nothing.
That makes sense. That makes so much sense. Doctor, I know you got a comment about what this gentleman just said.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, well said, needed to be heard. I mean, he's exactly right. And we've got to stop talking about it and be about it. And be about it. We've got to do it. I mean, at some point in time, listen, I remember all the We Shall Overcome.
Yes.
I remember all the marching. I remember when Martin Luther King was murdered. I remember when so many of our leaders were taken from us. But do you know why they did it and why it worked? Because we were always following the man instead of becoming conscious and making a decision to become the movement. We have to become the movement. This is what we are, not what we did. This is how you protect a village. Before we were colonized, there was no threat against our community because we were the community. And now we are being taught something entirely different. We were robbed of our history. We don't know who we are. We were taught that we were slaves, and then they gave us a chance to become a part of civilization, and they helped us to be more than we ever were. That's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. It is absolutely nonsense. There's nothing about us that was ever less than. The reason why today, you think about that we don't believe in ourselves. We do everything that we can to look like somebody that colonized us.
Colonized.
Now, why would I want to look like you, my oppressor? Why would I want to look like my oppressor? But at the same time, my oppressor is doing everything to look like me. Listen, we had I can't call him a president, I just say the orange dude. The orange dude had orange spray to look more like us. They spraying our color. They laying out in the sun to get just like us. They're using Botox to get our lips. They're putting butt implants and everything to look like somebody that you say you better than. I don't think so. So common sense, unfortunately, is not common. And until we start looking at the truth and start embracing one another and finding the essence in each other, and like this brother said so eloquently, listen, we gotta know the truth, but the truth is a behavior. See, as long as we keep doing this, listen, these sessions, this kind of communication with the public is necessary. We have to do it. We gotta make change. And at the foundation, we can't talk about it. Oh, I'm a Christian. Well, listen, you don't know God, you don't know yourself, you don't believe in yourself if you're not taking care of the temple God gave you. So health and wellness, as Sandra was talking about, is absolutely at the foundation of faith. How can I believe in anything when I don't believe in my own wellness?
Come on, man.
If I don't believe in my wellness, then I'm not planning to be here long enough to make a difference. No way. And that's what's happening. See, they have tricked us. They got us fighting amongst ourselves. They got us eating everything we put in our body. It's just another brick that's coming off of the foundation of who we are. Because we're not eating to live. We're living to eat.
Ooh, that is something, that statement you made is exactly what my son, who is an RN, said. He said, people eat. They don't eat to live. They live to eat.
Yes.
So they eat any and everything, not what we're supposed to eat.
You cannot say that you love yourself when you go exactly where they told you to go. Listen, when I was coming up, there was children that were fat, but they were the exception, not the rule. everybody was running and jumping, and the gym was mandatory. Now you ain't got to take gym. Kids, the strongest thing on many of our kids' bodies now are their thumbs, because they on the phone texting, or they playing video games or whatever, but they sitting down, they laying down, they eating all this fast food, they're not eating, they're drinking pop and soda and everything that's killing us. Yeah. Now we have children. When I was coming up, my father was my age before. I'm 65 years old, and I know black don't crack. But at 65, I don't take nothing. I mean, I'm not even on aspirin. So I don't have high nothing. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have diabetes. I don't have nothing. I walk 100+ miles every week. I swim 1.5 miles every week. And I do other things as well. But the most important thing is, if you don't move it, you're going to lose it. So we believe that age is the reason for medicine. No, it's not. Taking the medicine is the reason for more medicine.
Taking the medicine
is the absolute recipe for more medicine. Because if you look at the package insert, it says that here are the precautions. Here's what else is going to work.
That's right.
So why in the world, if I got a toe fungus and they tell me to take a Lamisil, and I say, I the Lamisil, and I look at the package insert, you can't do better till you know better. We perish due to a lack of knowledge. So do not put nothing in your body you don't know what's in it. So now, and you should know what's going on. What is it going to do? So when it tells you, well, there have been studies that have shown that a person has had kidney failure, sudden blindness, and their left ear fell off. Now, I had toe fungus, which meant that my big toe was a little open. Now I got sudden blindness, kidney failure, and my left ear fell off. Well, you know what? I'll just keep an ugly toe and put a sock on.
What was the definition of chemicals? It's chemicals. So that tells you right there.
So the important thing is that we have to start just paying attention. Listen, we gotta love each other. Forget waiting on somebody. I don't want nobody to save me. I said, listen, I believe in what James Brown said. That's the generation I come from. He said, I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door, and I get it myself. And if you don't open up the door, I'm gonna kick down the door.
Yeah, that's right.
And get it myself.
That's right.
I've been telling a lot of coaches. I'm in the music business. You know, my son produced G Herbo's first hit before he passed away. He also died from diabetes and stuff. Not listening, like you were saying. You know, you want to have a good time. You drove a truck and you want to eat and sit and drive. And we got to basically, our music, we have to get our young people back to making remixes so that we can bring back the vibration, because the music business has been distorted into falsified doctrines of this Illuminati theories of people joining that to be able to be in the music business, which is a falsified doctrine, because God did not create music in that aspect. But people are trying to take his element and change it into something that has nothing to do with it. So it's not the real situation. So that means that with the music that you hear now coming from our young people doesn't have the vibration of a Curtis Mayfield or Earth, Wind & Fire anymore. So we have to start, what I'm going to start doing is start getting our young people to start doing remixes. And you start to hear it more and more. And you even start to hear that rap is starting to come back to where you can understand what they're saying. Because about a year ago, they would say, let them go down here and make it come. That was a hit record. And I was like,
what are they saying?
Yes, I got
Excuse me.
What do you mean, what is that? I mean, the Chance the Rapper, these guys start to bring it back, and some other guys, but I'm so happy that they have the 50-year hip hop reunion, because on the 19th, I'm going to Milwaukee to see some of the great rappers like MC Light, and some of them to basically, I've been listening to them on WWED playing Curly the Blow and all these people I know from Europe and touring. And it brings back memories and it brings back that vibration. And we have to, I'm telling our young people, y'all have to stop doing this music that has no vibration in it. And that's the reason why you have a lot of the murders also, because this drill music, everybody, and I told my son, I told him, I said, you know, this drill music is related to, I don't want to say it is negative or devil or whatever, but whatever is in it is causing people to get killed and die. And if you look at drill music, all of these BDs and GDs, all these guys who wear all these flags that was making drill music, they all died or they got killed. And Chief Keef, he was like, wait a minute, let me, like, I'm the one who created this, so he knew what was up. So he went and hid up in California, and so that's why he's probably still here, because they don't tell him what type of security you have around him being on the outside. So yeah, so you know, this is very important, but Wanda, you're gonna have to get a team of people together that's gonna be taken back to the streets, and we'll have to like get some Geritol or whatever they're gonna need. Because we can't have our young millennial out there by herself. I was so embarrassed that she was out there by herself for such a great cause. I was like, you know, and they were so nervous with her because the energy. She said, I'm not scared, I'm not scared. And the police, I told the police personally, because I know the spirit that I'm dealing with. I said, you know, I just told 2 police standing outside. All of a sudden now it's 2 police outside, like, you know, if it be a nigger riot or something to come, you know. They are afraid of us, so why we let them off the hook? If they're afraid of us, let them, hey, who's more angry than an angry black woman?
Come on now.
Against a black man. You know, you don't want that type of energy coming at you. So I told the police, I said, you know what? They would stand up there, I said, you know, this world has been here for millions and millions and millions of years. We don't even know how long it's been here. And I said, you know, that every time in the universe there was change. We had different entities that was here in this world. I said, why are these human beings here now in this world thinking that this is all it is? I said, I have never seen so many narcissists in my life. I'm like watching these people go in and out of City Hall, and I'm looking at them saying, this is a narcissist. This is a narcissist, not the judge, but just to see why we can't get the positive change. Because your belief, you may believe that you LGBT, so therefore if you're not in that lane, then no, why do I have to be in your lane? I can't judge you. God said what's the Tupac say? Only God can judge me. So don't try to make it seem like I judge you if I'm not judging you. So therefore, if I want to be straight, let me have the same pride. So I was telling Wanda earlier, we have to start straight pride. I want to go to a parade where the children are all like the boys who got playing with trucks and out there at the parade, and we selling like we got our own color flag to support what we believe in. Because the city, like I was saying to Wanda earlier, quickly I'm gonna say it, the city of Babylon, all we gotta do is look at that. Nobody talks about that because we have a lot of scared Negroes. They don't want to talk about that because the LGBT community is trying to destroy you if you say anything against them. We all know that because they control a lot of
Wanda.
Yes.
Okay, yes. You know what? I'm going to have to get off the line. I was going to share with you all and help you, and then probably, I don't know if Lizette is still on the line, to remind them that the city does have jobs for the youth. We were supposed to be talking about violence and how to address the violence in Chicago, and unfortunately, you guys really veered off. In addition to that, I would also say that Father Flagrant has also one of the gentlemen talked about doing some kind of protest or march. He's doing it along with several other of the ministers on the South Side. So I'm not really sure where you guys are getting your information from or who you're talking to or who you're not talking to. But there are programs out here right now that are going on for the children, young adults, it starts from the ages of 16 to 24, where they can get a job and they're guaranteed employment pretty much all summer. They're guaranteed $15 an hour. And I know some of the programs have been extended in order to have something for them to do. Many of the city parks, I've heard, they're going to have some programs too that they're opening up for the kids, young adults, teenagers and young adults. in addition to the YWCA and the YMCA, they're doing some things. So I'm not really sure where you guys get your information from, and we didn't get a chance to share any of this or talk about it directly, but you can call 311 to get some information, and you can Google it, since he talked about Googling a second ago, and you can find out some things to do for the young adults, from children 16 through 24. And I understand the schools are going to be opening up and doing something for those that are under 16. I think it's from ages 7 through 12. And I heard about that the other day. They've got several parks that are doing things, and the parents don't have to pay. Because if you have a medical card, you just need to show your medical card, and your kids can get in for free. But I have to get off the call. Again, it's unfortunate we didn't get a chance to talk about it. Everybody have a great evening, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, but Dr. Stain, you said you wanted to talk to us about one more thing.
Well, real quickly, I heard what she said, and the job situation is certainly something that has always been the smoke and mirror in our community. There's always jobs available. Right now, particularly, there's many, whether it be fast food, whether it be any type of service, there's many jobs available. That is not going to solve the problems that exist in our community. A job right now is a Band-Aid on a broken leg. The reality is this: our children are broken. Our children have no expectation of living past 25. Our children are saying these kind of things every day. They are terrified about the possibility of any longevity. Right now, our children are thinking, as a 65-year-old man, my expectation of longevity is longer than theirs. That is outrageous.
That is outrageous.
So a job is exactly what they've always done, to say, see, we're offering this in your community, so that they can collect data to say that even with the job programs and all the things that we made available, they're still killing each other. They're still crazy. They're trying to sell this narrative. If we don't fix the brokenness that exists in our youth and start to really pay attention to skill sets and abilities that they have, and say that I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you know how great you are. You know the excellence that resides in you. If a job, they're not going to keep you.
That's right.
I did a training program with 60-some trainers. I've been training for over 30-some years, for probably almost 40 years. And I trained every state agency in the state of Illinois. Josephine Simmons, who was the first Black female executive director of the Illinois Commerce Commission, and myself got a contract to train every state agency in the state of Illinois. And we did extremely well with respect to that. But here's the deal. A job sounds like a fix. But the truth is that if that person does not have self-pride, self-awareness, believing in themselves, as soon as they get a check, they're not coming to work.
That's right.
I'm in areas right now where there's plenty of our Black children that are working and that have a job, and they're doing a good job. And then all of a sudden they're interviewing more people because they say they won't come to work. So the reality is this: because I've been training for so long and very well respected in that arena, a group of professional trainers, about 60 of them, actually 65, came to me and said they wanted me to evaluate some of the results that they got. And the whole key was jobs. They had this group. We placed these children, and we placed 1,500 kids in a job over this period of time. Another group, 400, 300, 250, whatever the numbers were. And they were so proud. And they said, you know, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're making a difference. And I said, okay. I said, any other information that you have? I mean, no, we placed this many people, and, you know, we're really excited about that. And and we're looking for more funding to continue to do this work and so on and so forth. And I said, well, I have 2 analytics that I need to get answered for me to give you my assessment. I said, the first one is, how long have these people that were placed in the job, how long are they still there and how long have they been there? Number 2, how many of them have improved their credit score and other things and maybe now are living in an apartment, they were living at home, or they now have a house, or any of these things that actually show that they took what they got here and they are progressing and elevating from that. I said, does anybody have those numbers? Not one person had that information. So I said, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say in my evaluation. You're not gonna like it, but this is the truth. Care is a behavior. It is not a word. I said, now, if you don't have those numbers, then all you did, this was a race to the money. You got the funding. You did exactly what the government said you had to do in order to get it. And now you on to the next check. Our children, on the other hand, got this guy got a job. Now, he was selling drugs in the community, and he was in gangs, and he's gotten all of that, and he's really trying to do better. He's now working at, let's say, a Starbucks. It's at Starbucks. And one of his foes, or one of his homies that he was out there slinging drugs with, comes and sees him at Starbucks and says, this what you on now? And starts talking to him in a very negative and demeaning way about, so this is what you are now, and woo, woo, woo. Now, this guy that made a decision to make a change in his life got a job, but didn't nobody do nothing to change his mindset. So now when he's confronted with that dude that he used to be out there doing whatever with, he's gonna return right back to what he knows. And now he's defending his honor. So now he's about to lose the job because he's ready to fight about what you said. Or he's saying, you know what, man, I'm looking bad out here in these streets. Maybe I'm not going to work tomorrow. I don't need this. I can hustle in the street. So we didn't change nothing. We put a Band-Aid on a broken leg, which is exactly what they want us to do. So although I do understand, I understand what we've been told about. We're not talking about jobs, and maybe we got off the subject a little bit. And what about this?
No,
and what about that? Wait, let me finish.
No, we didn't get off that.
Let me finish. But the point is that in order to solve the problem, you have to understand what was done in order to create the problem. And then when you now understand and understand what was done to create the problem, you now have to repair that. I cannot build a house on no foundation. It's impossible. So if I take a child that was not given the things that I was given to be who I am today, that's not his fault or her fault. So if I don't do something to say, I got to give you the foundation, because then you will know why you have the job. See, a job is a temporary situation in order for you to put yourself in a position where now you can be the owner of the job. Come on now. But I have to start somewhere. I don't leap into saying I'm the CEO of a big Fortune 500 company. I say, no, I get the education that I need in order to understand, and I start connecting with other people who will be significant players in a business environment. And so this person is the accountant, this person is the attorney, this person is the marketing guru, this person is this or that. And we learn how to put together a business that functions for, we need to be buying from ourselves. So I'm a buy black, bring your dollars back type of dude.
Come on.
And so that's what we're talking about, and that's what we're gonna do. So I understand, but a job will not fix our problems. And
Okay,
if we just focus on that.
Oh, okay, I just want to make a point. I want to piggyback on what you said, because you said some of the things I was going to mention. First of all, to the speaker who got off the phone, first of all, we did not get off the subject. We were talking about violence and the things that's connected to why the violence is. So when I was talking about the situation of who controls the city and the preferences and all those things, it has directly involved with the situation of why we have violence. So I don't know why she suddenly started talking about jobs, because that had nothing to do with the violence. Because me, I'm a Barksdale, so therefore I get information off the streets. And part of the situation, what Mark is talking about, is a certain entity in a group of maybe educated youth or something who basically can be involved with what you were saying. Then you have the street boys, which is gang, which he mentioned. Now, this is where I come in and where I talk to them. And I ask them, I say, why you guys don't want no jobs? They say, man, they put $1 million worth of guns on the railroad tracks, and we can use these like to make money. Why should we have to go work 8 hours for $15 when we can make, like, we can get with the cartel and get like $100,000 to go to the strip club and make it rain? Then they said that's one entity. So now you want to give them a summer job. See, our people, that's why I said those are the people that's afraid, because they so afraid of the white man to kill us until they just want to be saying something that they think don't have nothing to do with the change. Then second, you had, okay, you didn't give them no stimulus, so what were their stimulus? They said, I was out there working for DoorDash and stuff, and the people I saw personally, guys open up their trunk with like $50,000 worth of stolen merchandise. So now look at the period. Now, nobody gave the figure of how much merchandise was stolen. Have you noticed that? Have you heard any record? Let me tell you. I'm talking about every walk of life was shopping. Now, right to this day now, some of these guys are worth $300,000-$400,000 from those times of all the shoplifting and stuff in the store. And I'm saying, so you want a summer job, you want them to work a summer job where they can like make, okay, $15 times 8 is how much? 15 times 8 is how much?
15 times 8?
Yeah, $15 an hour, they work full, sometimes they work 6 hours, but it's not 8 hours. How much do they work in a summer job? 8 hours?
125 bucks.
So you want these guys to work, you want them to work for $125 an hour when they can like sell maybe one pack quarter for like $125 in like 10 minutes, and you want them. So, but this is cause and effect. The cause of it was because you put the guns, you put the drugs in the neighborhood. Now you're saying on the radio, yeah, we got some job. Hey, what you upset with? She was upset about maybe something somebody said, because she just interrupted because somebody said something. And this is what the problem is. People don't want you to say the truth. And the truth will set you free. And if you tell the truth, only God will protect you if you tell the truth. If you just hide behind the system and you want to be hide behind your preferences and all that, what entity are you dealing with? Are you dealing with God, or are you dealing with, that's why I always ask that question. What entity are you dealing with if you're not dealing with the godly way? I rest my case. George, you haven't said anything. Ooh. And now we have a word from our sponsor. I don't want to.
Global City Unity.
I think Juan and George are going to need protection after that. But this is probably one of the most heaviest shows that has ever been said in Chicago. Juan, we thank you.
Well, I appreciate you all taking the time to come here this evening to speak with my audience regarding violence, because everything you said tonight, I agree with. I think that it's all, this is a facade we live in. And so we have to be able to distinguish between what's real and what's not real. And tonight you all helped us, in my opinion, do that. And so I appreciate that. And George and I have been talking all along, and Lebet, and so we know that what you guys were saying is true. So George, I'm gonna let you take us out. Because they say we got a new sound.
Before you start,
Well, you
Joy,
know what? Can I say something before?
Go ahead, Yvette.
It was so many valid points made, and what the brothers are expressing is the trauma that our community is experiencing. And we are the only race of people told to forget about our pain and suffering.
Yes.
And so we have to go back to what it is that's paining us, because as the gentlemen were saying, when you experience whatever is in your life that is a burden on you, no matter what job you get, you can't run from that. And so there's got to be methods of healing. And so I wanted to just share with them, that's the theme of our Juneteenth event on Saturday, is mind wellness. I don't like to say mental illness, because mind wellness is something that we can obtain. Mental illness puts us in hospitals where we're drugged. And so there are natural ways to have mind wellness. And so I think that's what you expressed. And that has to be shared in a way where you have that audience and you have those young men to speak that language to, because that's mind wellness. And a lot of the, even the little children in 3rd grade, 4th grade, as soon as they show any kind of behavior that's unacceptable to someone, they recommend drugs. And so we now have a probably 20-year history of that consumption being in our community. Longer than that, I'd say at least about 40 years. And so we've got a long way to come back from the depths that we've fallen as a community. And so I just agree with you all, and hope that you can share your organizations and how you reach our young people, and all ages, really, because we can all learn.
Thank you, Lynette. Thank you so much.
How much is the table? How much is the table?
How much is the table at Godfrey Park?
Yeah.
How much is the table, Lynette?
It's $100. Oh, well, no. For this Saturday, it's on the 17th, and Monday the 19th, it is $75 for both days.
Okay.
So total $75. And all that's right. To help. And George is vice president of the organization.
How long the table?
8 feet tables.
8 feet tables.
Mm-hmm. 2 chairs.
And chairs.
And so you can talk to Wanda and George.
You provide tables and chairs?
Pardon?
You provide the tables and chairs?
Yes, we provide the tables and chairs.
Okay.
Just bring the information that you have. We've got some open mic with and then also, when I talked about the plan earlier, PLAN, Peace, Love, Art, and Nature, it's an intergenerational plan to bring seniors and young people together where we have no barriers. And so George and Wanda and myself, we're closely intertwined in this movement. So as you all were talking about some things, it's some things that you don't know about us. And that's what we do on a daily basis to try, not even trying, but making a difference and bringing these young people into the TRIPS program. And that's, tell them what that is, Wanda.
TRIPS is an acronym for the services that we provide. And so it stands for the television production, the radio production, the internet services that we provide, publishing and social media. And so that's what we train our young people to do here at Exodus and over at Garfield Park as well. And so I'm so glad that you always seem to remember to reinforce that, Livette. You are such a great person. I appreciate that. And I hope that we get the caller that left. I hope that Sandra will come back and listen to the essence of what we were saying, because I truly don't think we went off subject tonight. I think we did an in-depth review of why we got broken children, broken young people, broken families. We are a broken people that have to be fixed, and we got to do the fixing. So with that, I'm going to say, George, take us out, because we're way beyond 7 o'clock.
Well, lastly, ask her, can I bring like paraphernalia, stuff like 4th of July stuff to sell?
Can you, Livette?
Give her my telephone number.
I will give you her phone number.
Okay.
All right, George, take us out.
Well, as some of us all know, we're here as a learning experience. First of all, it's no coincidence that we all are here talking about this in this moment, because we need to talk about these subjects. We need to bring certain things to the forefront. That's why God placed us here today. We've been talking about all types of things today, from God to our children, to different subjects that we need to talk about as our family unit. Then we talk about male-female relationships, God and his relationship with us, our relationship with our children. So we talk about those things to try to help unify our people, our children, and us in general, as well as our spirits, as we connect those spirits to our God and Father that we feel created us. So with that being said, everything that we do is in our spirits. We talk about these things because obviously we've been colonialized. We have to deal with things that we've been taught and trained, and their history versus what our history is. So these are subjects that we want to talk about here at the Exodus Institute. That's why we try to train our children and our young adults behind the scenes so that they can show themselves in a light and express themselves through media, television, radio, internet, podcasting, the whole gamut on the social media, so that they'll start bringing and putting out those messages that they need to hear from themselves, creating those messages, taking them out on our trips programs to visit, to see other venues, other avenues, other spiritual content that they can get, whether it be in the church, whether it be in spiritual institutions or whatever, so that they can start realizing who they are and start putting those things back into the universe to instill to the next generations to come how we need to start developing ourselves to go on. So in the words of Sankofa, we have to look back at our past to deal with our present so that we can move on and go forward and beyond in our spiritual endeavors when we deal with God. So that comes within our health. It comes within our spiritual wellness to our Creator. It comes within us just being traumatized from slavery to now and being colonialized in this United States thing. So these are topics that we want to put on the table. Obviously, this is not enough time to do all of those topics and subjects in. That's why we create what we have with our news media, Rwanda, Global City Unity, what we have over at the Garfield Park, and other community organizers that want to get on and talk about how we can fix and talk about some of these problems, because everything you just can't fix right away. We got to talk about it. We got to bring some of these things to elected officials, whether it be the mayor, the governor, and so on, the president. Because right now, our children are starting to take on that role to go out and do what they feel we left the ball and dropped the ball. So they're just taking things in their own hands. We have to bring back that step system, or the system of us showing our elders, talking to the generations that is here to come and beyond in the future. So I don't want to get on the soapbox right now because there's plenty of time to stay on the soapbox. And if I haven't said anything, I don't want to say too much or too little, too late. Let's sit down, let's talk about it, let's communicate. This is a community forum. This is where we can talk about these issues and we can go out and we can be proactive in what we're doing and what we're trying to teach our youth and young individuals. And let's do it right here in an institute that we can formulate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Revolution will not be televised. Will not be televised.
Thank you all for participating this evening. Brian, did you have a closing remark?
This has been a very informative discussion, and every last one of you all spoke on some true, spoke on some, you spoke the truth and basically in what's happening in our community, and gave some insight as to how we can do better going forward.
Thank you.
Because we are broken and we need to find out how we can fix this to be able to go forward.
I agree. Tax Doctor, you want to give us a closing statement?
Yeah, I think we as adults, we need to look at what's going down with property taxes, what's going down in how we fund these schools, and what is the final outcome of the fact that the DOJ just dropped down $100 million in crime prevention. And now, as of last week, Chicago wealthiest communities are coming forth to help out the Black and brown communities. And we must hold these rich folks accountable.
Tax Doctor, would you please give your number? We have a guest that would like to contact you after the show.
773-988-0934.
Say it again, sir.
Yep. If James Crown, one of Chicago's billionaires, he want to get the billionaires, the millionaire CEO to come forth and help our community. Let's hold his feet to the fire.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Repeat your number one more time.
773-988-0934.
0934. Okay.
And
Power is with the people. We the people. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your participation this evening. I look forward to seeing each of you again tomorrow on the Woman to Woman show. Have a good night.
Hey, Wanda.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow is my birthday.
Happy
Tomorrow's
birthday.
your birthday?
Yep.
Happy birthday to you. See you tomorrow.
Hey, Wanda, I'll be 100 years old tomorrow.
100 years old. Oh,
100.
don't tell nobody that. Have a good day.
Thank you.